Is Wisconsin a tax deed state? In this video, we're going to talk about Wisconsin and is it a tax deed state? I'm going to show you exactly how to take advantage of Wisconsin and the best ways to do that from the comfort of your own home. And the profitability that happens there is enormous. So stick around. I'll show you from A to Z exactly how to format this county and this state, these counties and this state to make a lot of money for you and your family. Now, here's the great part about it. Stick around to the very end. I got a free gift for you. Thumbs up, send out a comment. If you have a comment, if it's a good comment, I'll answer it. If it's not, I'll say not a good comment. I'll just have some fun with that. But let's talk about Wisconsin as a whole. Wisconsin, there's a lot more going on in Wisconsin besides the cold and the cheese, so to speak. Or is that, yeah, that's Wisconsin, okay? Bottom line is, Wisconsin is a deed state. So let's talk about what that means. What is a deed state? Let's backtrack a little bit. There is a big chasm. The difference between a tax lien and a tax deed is substantial, okay? But in all reality, they're kind of the same thing. What? That's contradictory. How are you saying that? You're contradicting yourself right there. No, I'm not. Okay, a tax lien certificate, you cannot sell, a county cannot sell a lien on a property for a tax lien certificate until they've been delinquent for 1 year. You cannot take anybody's property in the United States for back taxes until they've been delinquent a minimum of 4 years. Typically 5 is normal. So again, they're not the same thing, but they are. A tax lien will turn into a tax deed, and a tax deed at one point was a tax lien. So that's kind of, I guess the best way to put it is, they're two different sides of the same coin. Okay, so understand, when you go to a tax deed sale, it's already been delinquent a minimum, typically 4 years. There are exceptions to that rule. I'm not going to get into that in this video. Minimum 4 years, and typically is 5 years. So that means this person has had notification after notification after notification after notification, and every single year, multiple times. Hey, property's going for sale, property's going for sale. At some point, the county's got to do something, okay? And the form that they've taken here in the United States since before we became a country is, if somebody fails to pay their property taxes over and 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 over again, the county has the right to sell that property for the back taxes. That's what a deed sale is. Now, at a deed sale, unlike a lien sale, I'm not getting an interest rate. So in Wisconsin, when I go to a tax deed sale, I put my hand up and they say sold, I own that property for the back taxes or whatever I bid on the property. It's a premium bidding. Let me explain what that means. So let's say that there is a $400,000 property, and let's say this person has not paid their taxes for several years. I don't know, I'll make something up, $30,000 in taxes. That means I've done all my research. It's a decent property, maybe not quite worth $400,000, but it can be. It's got an ARV, after rehab value, of $400,000. I know for a fact that I can get that property up to that speed. Now I get to determine what my value is right now. What would I be willing to pay for this property right now in order to purchase this? Okay, so let's just say, for example, I think this is going to cost about $50,000 to rehab. And we'll get into the how I'm getting to that a little bit later in other videos, not right now. But I say, okay, so 50, 30, that's 80. Maybe I'd be willing to pay a couple $100,000 for this property. It was, oh, wow, that's so much money. Oh, that's half off. How many of you in here, by show of hands, would buy a $400,000 property for half price? Hello? Okay, so think about that. You've got to be competitive. So I'd be willing to go in there and pay 50% on the dollar on it. So maybe that would be my established price on that. Okay, but we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves. Let's talk about the actual sale itself. Okay, when you have a sale in Wisconsin, a couple of things are going to happen. First of all, they're going to offer that sale, the list of the properties that are going for sale, 30 days prior to the sale. So I have to look at all the counties and go, okay, these are the counties I want to invest in. This is when their sale's coming up, and go backwards 30 days. And I'm going to know for a fact that in 30 days, I'm going to have a sale on this or excuse me, a list of property that are coming up. So what I need to do is I need to go in there, find that list and say, okay, here's the list. What are going to happen? These properties are coming up on here. By the way, most of them are going to happen online. Okay, you want to write this down. It's wisconsinsurplus.com. Okay, wisconsinsurplus.com. And that's where you're going to be able to do the bidding on this. And so once I see it coming up for sale, now I can say, okay, I got 30 days to do my research. I want to find out the ARV. I said that earlier, after rehab value. You're not going to get a property that's not going to need some type of rehab. That doesn't mean it's going to need a lot, but it's going to need something. Okay, so after rehab value. So what is that? I'm going to find out what that is by looking at other properties that are similar in the same area and find their value. What did they sell for? Maybe I'll go back to what has sold in the last 60 to 90 days. That's going to give me similar property, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 7 square footage. I'm going to take all of those, I'm going to add the price together of all 3 of those, divide it by 3, and that's my average sale price. Then I'm going to take the square footage of those properties, I'm going to add those together, divide it by 3, that's my average square footage. Then I'm going to divide the square footage into the average value, and I'll have my average per square foot. It's pretty simple. So I'm looking at this property and it's X number of square foot. This is the average per square foot. You do a multiple of that, and that's what the property should be worth when you do all your research and all your, when you buy your property and you fix up that property. So if it says, okay, this property is worth $400,000 once it's fixed up. Well, how do you know if it needs fixed up? You don't. They're not going to hand you the keys and go, oh, on Thursdays we're going to have an open house of all the tax deeds. Not going to happen. You got to go by there and go, I guess. Okay, that's part of the whole deal on it. So you got to look at that and go, it's probably going to be needing, it's probably going to need some work. What is that extent of the work? I'm not really sure about that, but I'm going to adjust my bid accordingly. Okay, so from that price, if the opening bid, like for instance in our earlier example, was $30,000, so I got to say, okay, if I were, I don't know, let's just say it's a 2,000 square foot house, let's keep it simple. And I looked at this and said, you know, in that area, the average rehab per square foot is $25, is whatever that might be. We're not talking about build, we're talking about rehab. Okay, you can do some research online and find that. So then you just take a multiple of that per the square footage, and that's gonna get you pretty close. Well, Sean, what happens if the foundation, like dude, you're not gonna have to know any of that stuff. That's why you gotta adjust your bidding. So then I say, okay, 30,000, let's just make our number up and say we came up with $50,000 worth of rehab. So at $80,000 at a base, it's worth $400,000. There could be a lot wrong with that property in between. So what I'm going to do is start at the $400,000 and say, how close to that do I want to get? I'm not going to do a skinny deal. Okay, I'm not going to sit there and bid this thing to $350,000 or $310,000. I'm not going to do that. This is go do a retail property. This is called tax liens and tax deeds. I get things at discount. Okay, so I would look at that property and I'd probably go, okay, if I can get that property at about 50 to 60% of value, I'm going to be good. So that means I could pay all in with rehab and everything. If I could be at 2 to 250, I'd be okay with that property. Does that make sense? That's what you're going to be looking at when you're looking at the property. Once you figure those out, now you're seeing, I'm talking about single family residential properties. If you don't know commercial properties and land, stay away from it. We all know what a single family residential property is, but there is a lot of money to be made in not only commercial, but the land out there is awesome. I've got some other videos on that. You want to check the links for those inside there. I've got a bunch of videos that we've talked about land deals, so make that happen. As you can see, there's a lot of things that you got to intake. Okay, look at anything worthwhile, anything worth making money is going to take some work. Don't get intimidated about it. Okay, there's basic things that we have that we want you to follow. I've got 10 methodical steps I go through for every single property. So what I've done is I've got a free gift for you. I've put a brand new course. I think some of my best work yet. All you have to do is click the link down below, higginsmethod.com, and I will give you access to that immediately. That is my gift to you. Go out there, make some money. God bless and good luck, and we'll see you at the hunt.